The first time the world saw it, it was nothing more than a whisper in the dark, just a faint streak of light moving against the quiet backdrop of the stars. Most people didn't even notice. But for the handful of astronomers tracking the night sky, that ghostly blur carried a weight that words couldn't describe. It wasn't just another comet, not another asteroid looping through its endless cycle around the sun. This one was different. Its orbit didn't belong here. It was a stranger, a wanderer, a messenger from some place far beyond the reach of our solar system. And now, as weeks turned into months, that silent visitor, 3I/Atlas, has grown brighter, nearer, heavier with meaning. What began as a distant curiosity is transforming into something no one can look away from. Because this time, it isn't just passing by, it's closing in. On Mars, that single fact alone has shaken the scientific world to its core. Not because Mars is in danger, though fragments trailing in its wake spark that very fear, but because humanity already has its machines there, watching, waiting. For the first time in history, an interstellar object is brushing close to a world where our eyes and ears are already present. Cameras, sensors, orbiters, rovers, silent witnesses scattered across the red planet's surface and skies, are preparing for what could become one of the most extraordinary encounters of our lifetime. And then came the revelation no one was ready for. Atlas isn't alone. At first it seemed impossible. The streak of light was one object, one solitary traveler slicing through the void. But as it drew nearer, astronomers began to see flickers, faint shadows trailing just behind it. Then more, and more. What should have been a single wanderer was slowly unraveling into a swarm, fragments multiplying, drifting, breaking free like sparks flying from a cloak as it brushes against the wind. Something that was once solitary has become a family of objects, each one with its own path, its own mystery, and that changes everything. On Earth, scientists scramble to keep up with the multiplying signals, their telescopes straining at the edge of possibility. Software pipelines push beyond their limits to detect the faintest glimmers. Across the ocean of space, on Mars, machines are being recalibrated, their lenses pointed skyward instead of downward, ready to capture what no human eye has ever seen. And behind all of this, one question pulses like a heartbeat. What exactly is this thing? For comets from our solar system, fragmentation isn't unusual. They warm as they near the sun, venting gas and dust until pieces break off in dazzling trails. But Atlas is not from here. Its chemistry, its structure, its very bones may carry the fingerprints of a star system light years away. Every fragment peeling off is more than a shard of rock or ice. It's a piece of another world, a courier carrying secrets of its birthplace. Each one whispers stories of distant suns, ancient collisions, and the violent births of alien planets. But it isn't just science that holds its breath. Around the world, the images, grainy though they may be, have stirred something primal in the human imagination. People who never cared about space before are suddenly watching the skies, wondering what it means that a visitor from another star is sweeping past a world we already call our second home. Children point to the stars with questions their parents can't answer. Artists sketch visions of Mars lit by alien meteors. Writers describe the swarm as messengers, harbingers, omens. And through it all, the hum of anticipation grows louder. Because this is no longer just a story about astronomy. It's a story about us. About how we watch, how we wonder, how we react when the universe knocks on our door. It's about realizing that the solar system isn't a fortress sealed and safe, but a crossroads. That other worlds exist, and sometimes, just sometimes, their fragments drift close enough for us to glimpse them before they disappear again into the abyss. And this time, it isn't happening millions of miles away in silence. It's unfolding in the skies above Mars, a planet already intertwined with humanity's dreams of exploration, colonization, and discovery. Mars, the red world that has captivated us for centuries, is now the stage for an encounter with something alien. No one knows exactly what will happen in the days ahead. Will the fragments pass quietly, nothing more than faint streaks in the Martian sky? Will they burn bright in sudden meteors, leaving chemical traces for our machines to capture? Or will they carry with them something even stranger, clues that redefine what we think life itself might require? What we do know is this: the swarm is growing and time is running out. Atlas is closing in, Mars is waiting, and humanity, watching from Earth, from orbit, from the dusty plains of another world, is about to witness history. The closer it comes, the more unsettling it feels. Atlas is no longer just a blur on a chart or a faint streak on a telescope's lens. Now it has a face, or rather, many faces. The swarm stretches like a loose net of glowing embers across the dark. Some pieces are bright, steady, almost deliberate in their motion. Others flicker erratically, as if straining to hold themselves together. And somewhere within that cloud lies the heart of the visitor, the core that first caught Earth's eye. On Mars, night falls, and the machines we place there begin their vigil. The rovers, normally crawling across rocks and dust, turn their cameras skyward. The orbiters, circling high above, adjust their instruments to trace every glimmer. Even the silent landers, some long-considered relics, are swept up into this story, their sensors faintly alive, as if eager not to miss what's coming. For the first time in history, an alien object isn't being studied only from Earth. It's being watched by machines on another world. And as the swarm grows clearer, the questions multiply. Why is it breaking apart? Was it always destined to shatter like this, its fragile structure unraveling as it neared the warmth of the sun? Or did something happen out there in the deep, the pull of an unseen planet, the brush of a gravitational tide, that cracked it open before it even arrived? Theories fly faster than the fragments themselves, but none of them carry certainty. And that uncertainty is what gnaws at us. Because behind the curiosity lies an unspoken fear. What if fragments hit Mars? It's a possibility no one can dismiss. Some are small enough that they'd only burn in thin streaks across the Martian sky, no more dangerous than a meteor shower on Earth. But others are big enough to make an impact, big enough to carve craters into Martian soil, big enough to scatter dust and chemicals into the thin atmosphere. And that possibility ignites another thought. What if our machines, our rovers, our lifelines to that distant red world are caught in the aftermath? The world holds its breath as countdowns tick silently in research labs. Timelines of closest approach are updated every hour. Simulations are rerun again and again, each one offering new possibilities. But amidst the calculations, there's something more profound happening, something that has nothing to do with data or risk. Humanity is realizing just how fragile our grip on the universe truly is. For decades, Mars has been our dream destination, a place we imagine walking on, building on, even living on. And yet tonight, all of those dreams hang in the balance, at the mercy of a visitor that was never meant to pass this way. But here's the part that keeps scientists awake long into the night. Every fragment is a time capsule. Inside those shards, locked away in ice, dust, or minerals, may lie materials older than our sun. Elements forged in the heart of a star that lived and died long before Earth was even born. To touch one, to analyze even a speck, would be to read the first lines of a story written billions of years ago. And now with Atlas unraveling, those pieces aren't untouchable. They're scattering across a path that brushes against Mars itself. Imagine it, a rover's camera capturing a fragment as it streaks overhead, its sensors recording the faintest chemical signature left behind. Imagine dust settling on its panels, alien dust that began its journey in another star system. Imagine an orbiter swooping low enough to detect traces in the thin Martian atmosphere, whispering of a world far beyond our reach. It would mean more than just discovery. It would mean connection, proof that the galaxy isn't distant and untouchable, but woven into us, brushing against our fingertips. And yet the beauty of that possibility is haunted by a darker thought. If Atlas can find its way here, what else can? What other wanderers slip between the stars, unseen until the last moment? How many have passed before, unnoticed, and how many more will pass in the centuries to come? For the first time, the universe feels less like a vast and empty stage, and more like a crowded highway, one where Earth and Mars are not spectators but targets. Still, there's a strange comfort in this fear, Because tonight, as scientists, dreamers, and ordinary people gaze upward, the swarm binds us together. Across continents, across oceans, across planets, humanity is united by a shared anticipation. We don't know what Atlas will bring, whether it will leave nothing but fading streaks of light or alter forever how we see ourselves in the cosmos. But in this moment, none of us are alone in our wondering. The swarm is nearly upon Mars. The countdown grows shorter. And as the red planet spins beneath the stars, ready to host a meeting written across light years, the whole world waits, breathless, for what comes next. And then it begins. Above the silent deserts of Mars, the first fragments streak across the sky. To the machines scattered across its surface, they are nothing short of breathtaking. Brilliant lines of fire carving through the thin atmosphere, burning brighter than any star. For a few fleeting seconds, the red planet wears a crown of light, an aurora not of charged particles, but of alien visitors disintegrating in its skies. Cameras snap, sensors hum, data streams back across the void to Earth. And in homes, labs, and observatories, humanity leans closer to the screens, hearts racing. The swarm has arrived. Some fragments are small, dissolving harmlessly in the upper air, leaving only trails of dust. Others survive longer, striking the Martian ground in flashes too distant to hear, but powerful enough to scar the surface. Tiny craters bloom like ink stains across the landscape, each one marking the end of a journey that began light years away. And as the dust rises, the rovers, our eyes on that lonely world, are there to witness it. One captures the glow of a streak vanishing beyond the horizon. Another records vibrations through the soil, the faint echo of a fragment's impact. For the first time, human technology is present to greet messengers from another star. Back on Earth, the realization sinks in. We are watching a cosmic handoff. These fragments, broken from Atlas, are no longer wanderers. They are part of Mars now, part of our story. Dust from another star system has touched a world where humans plan to set foot. And though no person stands there yet, we know that when we do, the ground beneath our boots may carry whispers of alien suns. But the awe is tangled with unease. Some fragments, larger than expected, leave impacts stronger than predicted. Dust clouds linger in thin air. Instruments detect strange compounds within them, elements that don't quite match what we know from our solar system's comets. They are similar but not identical, hinting at a chemistry shaped in a different cradle of creation. Scientists rush to analyze every byte of data, arguing and debating as results stream in. Is this proof of a different planetary system's fingerprint? A sign that the building blocks of worlds are more diverse than we imagined? Or is it something stranger still? And while those questions swirl, ordinary people react in ways that no one could have anticipated. Social media floods with images of the fragments streaking across Mars's skies. Artists paint them as omens of change. Poets describe them as tears of the universe. And countless dreamers imagine what it would be like to stand there and watch it unfold with their own eyes. For a moment, humanity looks up not in fear, but in wonder. We are reminded that the cosmos is alive, that it moves, that it sends us gifts we never asked for, but desperately need, the gift of perspective. Because Atlas, in its unraveling, has forced us to confront the truth. We are not the center. We are not shielded. We are simply one world among many, living under the same vast sky as wanderers who travel from light years away. The universe is not quiet. It is restless, ever-changing, always reminding us of how small we are and how extraordinary it is to be here at all. And yet, in that smallness, there is strength. We watched, we learned, we bore witness. For the first time, fragments from another star system brushed against a world already touched by human hands. That connection cannot be undone. It is written now in Martian soil, in the dust carried on the wind, in the data beamed back across millions of miles. When future explorers walk on Mars, they will not only be stepping on Martian ground, they will be stepping into a story that began far beyond our sun. Perhaps buried in the soil or locked in the ice, they will find remnants of Atlas. Perhaps they will hold in their gloved hands a shard of another world. And when they do, they will know that they are not just walking on Mars, They are touching the galaxy itself. The swarm will pass. Atlas will continue on, fading back into the darkness. But its fragments will remain, scattered across the red world, silent reminders of the night the stars reached down and brushed against our dreams. And maybe, just maybe, humanity will remember this moment not only as a scientific milestone, but as a call to look higher, to go further, to keep chasing the unknown. Because Atlas is not the end of the story, it is the beginning.